the Fox 5 studios. This is the Reb Zone Sports Show.
Las Vegas, the Reb Zone is back. It's the best time of the year. The college football season is here, and the Rebels are just 6 days away from kickoff at Allegiant Stadium, and we have so much to dive into tonight. I'm your host, Paloma Villicana, joined by UNLV football first-year head coach Barry Odom. Welcome to Las Vegas. We were just talking about how this is a great year here in our city with the Super Bowl coming into town. Your guys seem energized and excited in your new program. What has the past 8 months been like for you?
Well, you look at, number one, thank you for allowing us to have this opportunity to talk about our kids, our student athletes, and our program. So excited about what we've done for 8 months, what our kids have done, the foundation and the approach on how you build a program. You know, we've broken it down into different phases, from the off-season program, then you get into spring ball, then the summer conditioning, and then into fall camp. Excited about the progress that they've made. We're thrilled that we're finally into game week. It gets to that point, the last part of August, and then school starting for our kids. They're ready to see and start game planning against another team. So excited about what they've done up to this point. They've really bought into every step of the way. I'm proud of what they've done, and then now we get to put it together and see how well we can play week one.
Yeah, the final days are here, 6 days away from kickoff. But Coach, want to talk a little bit about your past coaching experience, 3 years at Arkansas, 16 years at Missouri from a GA to head coach. Your SEC work ethic, your SEC experience, what immediate impact do you hope to have this season? Well,
I think you look at, we all learn from our experiences on the things that you have an opportunity to be in, and the people that you have a chance to work with. I think, you know, I've always been shaped by the different coaches I've had a chance to work with, and you take pieces, whether it was with Larry Smith when I was a player at Missouri, or Gary Pinkel for a long time at the University of Missouri under his on his staff. Then I was at Memphis for 3 years with Justin Fuente, and then with Coach Pittman, Sam Pittman here the last 3 years. You take pieces of that every step of the way, and you form what you think will fit for each team, and every team is different. So just because something worked for us last year at Arkansas doesn't necessarily mean we'll have, you know, exactly the same structure here. So valuable information that I've taken from all of the guys that I've had a chance to work with, but also I think the practice structure, the off-season structure, how we've built our staff organizationally, those are some of the things that I've brought with us on how we functioned for the last few years on the places I've been. Yeah, you're bringing coaches and you're bringing players from Arkansas over to the UNLV football program. I asked Jackson Woodard what similarities between an SEC practice and a UNLV practice was, and he said it's the exact same. So definitely a new work ethic, a new culture at UNLV. But to get to know head coach Barry Odom a little bit better, we mic'd him up at practice.
Every rep, every communication piece. Lock in, let's go to work. Yes, I know pads on, let's communicate today. Let's go. Rebels on three. 1, 2, 3. What's up, Coach? Hello, Donovan.
Help you get down there a little bit. You're stretching like I do.
Hey, there's our boss right there. How you doing, Coach?
I'm be quiet today. Yes, sir.
Right here. Come on, every rep, let's go.
Get your hips underneath the ball, right? But you gotta see it tracking over your head. Boom, you gotta turn off. You gotta run and beat it to the spot. Boom, and then get back, turn around. I'll take some of that. Thank you. Landing. Extend. All they're going to do on the back end on kickoff return, all they're going to do is grab and hug you. So your hands have got to go inside and explode up and extend. Take him back to the ball, right? Take him back to the ball. But if you're in here looking, they're going to control you.
Good, hands inside. Good, that's it, good.
We're always thinking we're working downhill, so we're punch and gaining ground, right? Punch and gain ground. Punch and gain ground.
So you know he's going to grab you on that line. Get your hands inside.
You got the ball. I'm playing defense. Basketball goes right there. What am I trying to stop you from? Don't let him do it. Take the charge, right? And then when you're there, don't give a lot of ground. When you're there, stay in square. Boom. Smack the hand. Giving a punch doesn't mean then open the gate. Right. It still means stay in square. So you're here, boom, release that time, boom, you're here. You got to match the steps, right? And he comes back, boom, boom, you're there. Just stay square with it, right?
Communicate, 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 communicate.
Great time out there at fall camp, Coach. Thanks for letting us mic you up. But what really impressed me was, your one-on-one teaching with both the defense and the offense. Really want to dive into Doug Brumfield and the one-on-one teaching you've been able to get with him and really his growth in the past 8 months with you.
Yeah, I look at the position of playing quarterback and how important that is. It doesn't matter if it's Pop Warner ball or all the way up to the NFL. That position is the most important position in sport. Doug has embraced that role. He's done a great job in understanding a new offense, but he's also off the field, in the weight room, in the classroom, in the meeting rooms. We're going to see a lot of growth from him. Decision-making, football IQ, all the things that go in with the leadership in that position, he's embraced, and I'm sure proud of the progress he's made, and we need him to play really well. He understands that.
Yeah, Doug had an opportunity this summer to be a part of Peyton Manning's passing academy, a huge experience for him. He shares more on his summer.
The biggest thing is really like leadership and preparation. Peyton Manning talked about how you just have to have a certain aura and presence around the facility, on the field, just at all times. Whenever you're around your teammates, they have to get a sense of leadership from you at all times. And then another thing was preparation. He talked about routes on air. And instead of going through and running about 20 different routes, maybe twice, he said pick a good 3 to 5 routes and run them till you perfect them. So it just really all ties in together. Me just trying to be a perfectionist with this offense and us trying to get this thing rolling.
Well, no doubt Doug Brumfield looks more mature, maybe a little bit taller this year, definitely a little bit bigger. But what I've seen at camp is Doug Brumfield really thriving in Coach Marion's offense, his unique go-go offense. And you can't miss Brennan Marion in his cowboy hat, Coach. But what impact have you seen from Brennan Marion's go-go offense this camp?
Yeah, I'm really fortunate that I think we have a staff full of tremendous men, number one, and leaders, but also teachers. And I think a lot of times it's lost in some eyes about coaching is teaching. It's in an education role, and I think the way that Coach Marion has approached and taught the quarterbacks along with installing the offense, he's been able to reach them on a level of understanding on, okay, here's the scheme, here's what we're trying to get accomplished with the play call. So there's an understanding across the board, not if you're a running back, exactly what everybody else on the field is doing and how that really plays together offensively, where we're trying to attack and the reasons why. And I think Coach and the offensive staff have done a nice job really taking the skill set of our players and building the offense around them.
Yeah, well, I've only heard great things about the go-go offense. The receivers, even the defense loved to go up against the go-go offense. It's so unique. But want to talk about the depth in your receiver room this season. You've got some elite wide receivers out there with Ricky White and Jacob DeJesus. Let's talk about the depth in your receiver room.
Well, that position is going to be so important to the success we have on offense, not only in the vertical passing game, but blocking and being in a position on how they're going to play when they don't have the ball in their hands. That's a big thing in our program. The mental toughness, the extra effort plays that really the backside receiver can go get the field safety blocked. Doesn't know where the ball is, but if he gets that block, a lot of times it will spring it for another first down or possibly a touchdown. So those guys have really, with Coach Alexander, have understood that, what it looks like. Ricky White has been tremendous for us this camp in the way that he's prepared, the way that he's played, and the urgency, in my opinion, on how he has led that group. So excited about what he's done. Seneca McKee as well has really come on, and you watch him practice, and the way that he approaches every single day will allow both of those guys to have success this season.
Yeah, those guys have flashed all fall camp. Really fun to watch. But coming up next, we are diving deeper into Barry Odom's football program, heading inside the weight room with UNLV's Director of Strength and Conditioning, Jeff Fish. We're going behind the scenes with Coach Fish, who shows us all the preparation and attention to detail it takes when building the total athlete. The Reb Zone continues after the break.
You're watching the Reb Zone Sports Show on Fox 5.
Welcome back to the Reb Zone. I'm Paloma Villicana, joined by UNLV football head coach Barry Odom. Tonight we are diving into Coach Odom's new program at UNLV, really highlighting how the Rebels have adjusted and thrived under their new coaching staff. And for the past 8 months, the team has spent a lot of time in the weight room, but they're not just lifting weights. Take a look. At the start of fall camp, I noticed something new at practice. Something I've never seen with any football program I've worked with. The attention to detail when it comes to stretching, eating, and the importance of individual training unique to each athlete's body.
Building and developing a complete athlete, there's a lot of moving parts. There's so much more than just how strong are you, how fast are you. It's being able to develop. The key is being able to train at a high level for a long period of time.
UNLV's Director of Strength and Conditioning, Jeff Fish, brings NFL and NBA experience to the UNLV football team. In just 8 months at UNLV, Coach Fish has completely transformed the program and quickly earned the respect of the players.
Coach Fish, man, he's a very good strength and conditioning coach. I feel like, a lot of strength and conditioning coaches around the nation, they like to go and see who could lift the heaviest weight and see who's the strongest guy on the team. But Coach Fish is really, he really emphasizes who can move the best on the team. How can we make you faster, better for your position? Because, football is a lot of different positions, a lot of different body types, and not everyone's going to be doing the same workout. So he likes to, really emphasize the receiver workout is different than the lineman workout, So I feel like he's really good as far as stretching. He focuses on mobility, speed, and power and not just, weightlifting.
This offseason, Coach Fish met with every UNLV football player, getting to know all their past injuries, and created an individual plan for each player, focusing on what care and training that individual needed to reduce the risk of injury.
We have to focus on all the elements of preparation, from rolling, stretching, understanding parts of the body that each individual is going to have tightness or restriction or maybe an imbalance in. If we've done our diligence, we know where those areas are. We can address those and hopefully proactively hold off and reduce the injury risks for our players, give them a chance to perform at a high level, recover, reset, be able to do it again and again. And it all plays into all the components of preparation, from the nutrition and the fueling side, the recovery side, and preparing for a workout. And even after a practice, when the body has obviously been stressed, there's been damage done to the soft tissue. Our guys are in such a great place right now with their habits that they come off the field, they come directly in here, and we get the knots and the trigger points out. We get an effective stretch. We do correctives and reset the body and give them a great chance to heal up in order to come back and be great tomorrow.
It's evident there's a buy-in from the football team, a trust and respect for Coach Fish in the weight room. A team that was plagued with injuries last season looks to be the healthiest it's been in years. One of my favorite pieces this fall, getting to sit down with Jeff Fish and really getting to know his program. And Coach, talk to me about your relationship with him and how you guys are constantly tweaking on the daily.
Yeah, I think you look overall, the scheme of the functioning of the organization and what that looks like. Nobody's poured in more time to our kids, to our student athletes, than Jeff has and his staff. The different things that he was mentioning in sports science, the research, the analytics with that, the care and prevention of getting them ready to go compete at a high level, the nutrition side of that. So all the different spokes that go out from just the strength area have gotten us for 8 months where we are today. And we couldn't do it without him. I met Jeff, we worked together in 2001, 2 and 3, and then he went back to the NFL. And just the approach, the scientific research, and the way that he has put together our plan, individualized workouts, and then the recovery piece, working together, it gives our kids a chance to recover. The structure of our practice throughout the week and throughout fall camp, if it weren't for what he's been able to do in the weight room, there's no way we would have been able to make it through our fall camp on the number of reps that we needed to hit to improve our program.
Yeah, just incredible to see him come into the facility at 3:30 in the morning, set up the weight room for the guys. Incredible work over at UNLV. Coming up next, we're getting to know one of the best teachers on the team, UNLV defensive coordinator and linebackers coach Mike Shear. We'll hear more from the defensive players on why he is so much fun to play for. The Reb Zone continues after the break.
You're watching the Reb Zone Sports Show on Fox 5.
He's a player's coach. You want to play for him. He's also a great teacher. I think a lot of people miss that in coaching sometimes, and he's so good at teaching. So you know what the defense is at every position. So a linebacker knows exactly what the corner's doing. He knows what the D-line's doing, and so it allows us as linebackers to play fast. And he's also just a great guy, fun to play for. So whenever you go on the field, you want to be your best to play for him.
That was Jackson Woodard, junior linebacker, a transfer that played under Coach Shear at Arkansas. Jackson is one of 4 Arkansas transfers on this year's team. But, Coach, it's been great to be around Coach Shear and hear his voice. And I feel like I was learning every position on defense just being around him. But you and Coach Shear go all the way back to, you mentioned, 8th grade with him. What kind of impact and, I guess, transformation on the defense have you seen with him in the building?
I think some of the things that Jackson mentioned, he is a great teacher. He understands the system, the defensive system and structure. He was a tremendous player, but that doesn't always equate to being a great coach. And he understands the fits, run fit wise. He understands structurally on the back end, pass defense, and then how important it is up front of the defensive line. So he gets the entire picture. He understands how to piece it together. But then maybe one of the best things that Mike has been able to do is solve problems. So if there is an offense that we're having to make adjustments within the drive, he understands within this defensive structure how to do that. So so fortunate that he's here leading our team on the defensive side, and we've got a really good defensive staff around him that they're working collaboratively to put together the best plan for us, and excited to see how we continue to transform and make improvements on that side of the ball. We understand there's points that we always have to hit. We have to eliminate explosive plays. We need to get the ball back. We've got to be able to stop the run. So how he's piecing that together and getting the right spots filled with the right people, it's been fun to watch for me.
Yeah, and it's been great to see Jackson Woodard and the other Arkansas transfers have that relationship established with Mike Shear, who's coming from Arkansas. But I want to talk about how explosive your defensive backs have been this fall camp. The secondary looks really strong under Coach Maggs. I mean, Jere Williams, Jonathan Baldwin. The DB room is deep this year.
Well, we've got a lot of players there, number-wise, and that's going to take all of us. It's going to take all of them, and whatever role that Coach Davis and Coach Maggs have cross-trained those guys, and understanding that you may be playing a nickel position this week, next week it may be the boundary safety position. So they've been really good teachers as well. We do have talent in the room. The most important thing on the back end is the ability to recognize formations, communicate, and then play well together. Because 4 guys on the field, usually if one of those guys make a mistake, it results in a touchdown, right? Not just a big play. So they've got to be on every single time. Their attention to detail, their focus, their eye discipline, their on-snap footwork, all of those things, I think our DB coaches have done a nice job, and really our players have embraced that. They've got a chance to be a strong point in what we're doing as a team. Yeah, Mike Shear adds on to what he's seen from his defensive backs this camp.
They play hard and they got an attitude. There's some guys in that room that play every snap with an attitude, and they also happen to be some of the better players in the room. And so when that happens, it kind of spreads throughout the entire room. In order to be a defensive back, you got to be a competitor. Corner's about the toughest position on the field. You're going to get burned sometimes. You got to line up and go do it again without getting down yourself, without anything, without any hesitation. So I think they developed, from their coaches, from the leaders in the room, they developed a really good attitude, and they play really hard.
Excited to see Jure Williams and the defensive backfield, all the talent in there, take the field in just 6 days. Game week is here, finally. I know the Rebels are itching to take the field this Saturday at Allegiant Stadium. We'll dive into the Rebels' first home game of the season against Bryant and get to know the 2023 captains a little better.
You're watching the Reb Zone Sports Show on Fox 5.
The countdown is on. 6 days away from kickoff at Allegiant Stadium. UNLV is preparing right now to host Bryant for a 1 p.m. kickoff this Saturday. And this is one of 5 games this season that you can watch on Fox 5's Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. That's channel 5.2 and cable channel 125. Coach, just want to quickly ask you what you have seen from the Bryant Bulldogs on tape and what sticks out to you about their program.
Well, they're very well coached. They're explosive on offense. They've got an all-conference returner and quarterback, an elite returner that was an All-American at that level. They've got 5 returning starters on the offensive line. So we'll need to find a way to slow them down. Defensively, they're aggressive. They've got a great defensive end that plays really well. And, he's been able to have multiple sacks, disruptive in a lot of ways. And then the second level for them, linebackers and defensive backs, have a lot of experience coming back.
Yeah, awesome. We're excited to see your team take the field this Saturday. But want to talk about the 2023 captains. Let's take a look at this year's 2023 captains. The commander of the offense, quarterback Doug Brumfield. The veteran on the O-line, Amani Trigg-Wright. The captain of the defense, Jackson Woodard. And the Energizer Bunny in the defensive backfield, Jure Williams. Really quick, Coach, just share your final thoughts on your 2023 captains.
I think it's important that we understand as a team that they voted on them. That's the guys that allowed the team to vote, and we're going to pick 4 that will be with us throughout the year, and then every week we'll have another captain that we name. But leadership is so important, and it's got to be from within, not only the coaching staff, but then the players. And these 4 guys exemplify everything that we're trying to get done, and they'll do a great job leading our team.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much for tuning in into the first Reb Zone of the season. We'll see you here next Sunday on the Reb Zone.